Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a place where we love to simply relish and bathe in the sweet waters of Democrat evil plan demise. They want so badly to destroy this guy. The plan has been destroy Donald Trump at any and all cost, no matter what. But every single time they try to knock him down, expecting that he'd give up, expecting to break his spirit, to simply put his tail between his legs and walk away. Every time they expect him to be broken as they attempt to break him, he looks the uniparty establishment straight in the eyes and responds very clearly with only a couple words.
I'm back.
He's frickin' back. Well, friends, Nancy Pelosi implied after her second impeachment fail, but really let's call it what it was the third impeachment fail. After that failed third impeachment attempt, Nancy Pelosi went on one of the leftist news outlets and claimed it's not over. There's already new investigations targeting Donald Trump starting up in the state of New York. Essentially what she was saying was that New York was going to be the sort of nucleus, the new headquarters taking over Washington's responsibilities relating to ridiculous anti-Trump witch hunts. We're gonna get him, Letitia James said, of course, foreshadowing what was to come. Well, now after a couple years of witch hunt attempts in the Democrat stronghold of New York, instead of giving up, instead of backing down, instead of breaking, Donald Trump announces, it's frickin' on. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so I covered this previously. Remember this moment with Donald Trump and Maria Bartiromo?
Are you going to be able to flip blue states like in New York and in New Jersey? There's a rumor you're going to do a rally in the South Bronx.
I think so, yeah. I think I will do that.
Then when are you going to do that?
I think I'll do one maybe at Madison Square Garden, too.
Trump announced that he was going to campaign in the Bronx and that he also planned on selling out Madison Square Garden. Initially, people weren't taking it too seriously. Even I was a little bit hesitant to say that this is happening for sure. I mean, Trump says a lot of things. Doesn't mean that he's going to do them all. Most of the time, he's just kind of freestyling in a way and just observing the general sentiment and reaction to what he says. So I didn't give too much credibility to it, but it did certainly make sense. We've been looking at New York, and New York is the one place, maybe not so much in Manhattan, but as a state, it's the one place that is trending rightward. We've spoken about all of it, how Kathy Hochul almost lost, how Trump has cut his hypothetical voter share deficit in the state by nearly half. Based on recent New York results, you'd expect Joe Biden to be up by 20 points, but some polls suggest he's only up by 8 or 9. Donald Trump, or really Republicans across the board, are soaring in New York. And now former President Donald Trump confirms upcoming rally in the Bronx and that he will rent out Madison Square Garden for another rally. Here he was last night on Fox News' The Ingram Angle, where he confirms this new interesting electoral strategy.
Mr. President, I've long said that Republicans should have a no state or city left behind strategy. Yeah. Ronald Reagan had that strategy in 1980 and 1984. And you told Maria Bartiromo that you may campaign in the Bronx or at Madison Square Garden. When might that be happening?
Very soon. Look, we have 9 months yet. But I'm going to see about Madison Square Garden, and we're going to go to the South Bronx, and we're going to go to Queens.
There's only one word to describe it: ambitious. And of course, we know Donald Trump to be an ambitious man. You know, the Republican Party, conservatives as a whole, tend to shy away from this sort of thing. Don't take unneeded risks. Put your money in that 5% savings and play the long game. Let's preserve what we have. Well, the Democrats are attempting to destroy everything you have. The Democrats are taking over at unprecedented rates. And so maybe it's time for a new strategy. Maybe it's time to go on the offensive. And this is exactly what we spoke about last time. There are disenfranchised voters in New York. You know, New York has a Democrat governor, a Democrat mayor of their major city. I believe they have Democrat supermajorities in the state house and state senate. The New York City City Council is a Democrat supermajority. And despite that, despite Democrat reign over the last however many decades, this is the reality of New York. 1 in 4 New York City children now lives in poverty. Poverty has soared in the city with the ending of pandemic-era aid, and children have borne the brunt of the hardship, a report from a research group has found. So you have Democrats in charge and a significant, visible deterioration in the basic standard of living. You think your average folk don't see it? It's the exact opposite. The politicians don't see it. The average folk see it very, very clear. The question is, who's going to acknowledge it? Who's going to take advantage of that current circumstance? It's not the Democrats. The Democrats' 2024 election strategy is go on a countrywide victory lap tour, when really what they should be doing is going on a countrywide apology tour. You know, I think that would be perceived a whole lot better, but they're not going to address any of the hardship. Joe Biden's going to tout the amazing success of his bipartisan bills and Bidenomics. Meanwhile, people who are actually on the ground, regular citizens who are currently living through Joe Biden's America, well, I think they're looking for less of a victory tour and more of an inspiration, what can the future hold tour. And that's what the Donald Trump Make America Great Again tour is all about. You want to make noise? You want to change things up? I can't think of anything better, anything more bad freaking ass than selling out Madison Square Garden. I think this is the play. I mean, this is really the play on a national stage. It could be serious. This kind of move could pay serious political dividends. You know, Charles Payne said this the other day on Fox News.
He says, speaking of President Trump, they did not rob a bank at gunpoint. Donald Trump is not Bernie Madoff, yet the defendants are incapable of admitting the error of their ways. It feels like the whole plan was to make President Trump bow, to make him, to humble him, to take away his swag, to remove the veneer of the anti-establishment veneer, to break him down. That's what they're looking for, like they're going for more than anything else, and it keeps backfiring. And
they try to beat him down. They want Trump to bow. They want to humble him, take his swag away, to break him down, but it keeps backfiring. Well, I can't think of a better event to make sure the whole thing backfires, the Democrat evil plan backfires, than showing up at Madison Square Garden like a freaking superhero. They want to destroy him. They want to take his swag away. It seems as though he's still swaggy enough to pack freaking MSG. They want to take the energy away. The only problem is Donald Trump's essentially like Michael Jackson. Everywhere he goes, he's the center of attention. Take that individual and put them in the center of the world, and it sends a very clear message to the Washington operatives attempting to destroy him. He will not back down. This is exactly what they're scared of, folks. That's why we see the talking heads on CNN and MSNBC panicking at the idea that these indictments aren't having an effect on Donald Trump. He's wearing them as a badge of honor and campaigning on them. No, what are we gonna do? Remember Stephen Colbert's meltdown from 2 days ago.
I know how numb we've become, but it's not normal. No other candidate for the presidency has ever had to pause his campaign to defend himself in multiple courts. And I would like to point out that in all 7 of his cases, no one doubts that he did these things. We're just sitting around patiently waiting to find out if the wheels of justice will grind fast enough for there to be any consequences. And the media is covering it like it's any other political story, like it's all horse race.
It's all panic. Why aren't these indictments working? Why is Trump not being destroyed? 2 weeks later, he's selling out Madison Square Garden. Think about it. With celebrities in attendance, the crowd freaking roaring, an incredible show up, incredible TV ratings, and maybe even closing the gap in New York. If the messaging is relevant and good enough, I don't know, some people say it's a waste of money. Why even campaign in New York? Why even bother? But I'm thinking a whole lot more simple than that. Holy frick, this is gonna be badass. And that's pretty much it, so I guess we'll have to see. Trump confirms it. It's happening. Let's call it Donald Trump Primetime NYC. Don't have a date yet, but get ready to mark it on the calendar. I'm just curious to see the polling shift post-rally. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.